Good morning, evening, afternoon. I'm Tatocat. Welcome to my channel. Today we're playing Echoes, Lucid9 Fangame. Previously, I started a battle and Irie was a ninja gymnast, death gymnast, and yeah, I don't know how well I'm actually doing in this, and I can't remember what I was doing last, which is fantastic to do in the middle of a battle, but we'll see how it goes. I need to fix my armor though. Oh, nope, did the wrong thing. Oh, I guess I do have to do that. Okay. This one, because for some reason I don't have... I don't like the fact that I can't move around in these battles lately. It makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, let's just see how it goes if we do this. Just live on the edge. I hope that this means this doesn't mean that in the next battle my armor's gonna be at this. I feel like I could have done this a lot faster if I wasn't so chicken. And just lived on the edge the whole time. Actually, what weapon would I have? Eh. Like, I used to be able to go forward or go back. Now I can kind of just hold position. So. Oh, wait, what is the special item? Oh, the bomb. Yeah, it doesn't seem that living on the edge is going to get me killed. Yeah, I could have done this battle a whole lot faster if I wasn't so chicken. For sure. I can tell already. I'm too cautious for my own good. So close, yet so far. Not healing. Eh. Oh. Oops. Went too far. Actually, what? I don't think healing does what I wanted to do. Yeah, that did not do what I wanted to do. Alright. Repair. Let's do more damage. It does. I win! Yay, me! I'm the best. No, 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 no. Okay. I get 1500 EXP. I get 10,000 Japanese yen. That's fun. Got a lot. That's a lot of money, and I was wrong on the number. 3 cybernetic upgrade points. Awesome. 3 skill upgrade points. Cool. 3 squad upgrade points. Your rank in the Way Forward Corporate Navy is now Chief Petty Officer 3rd Class E7. It's 6,100 out of 7,000 experience points. That is like a lot of stuff. What do I want to do with all that? Like, what am I going to do with 10 million in? I mean, that's why I don't need to use a dojo anymore. But I assume there's going to be a weapon that's going to be that expensive. Good work, operatives. Hidega decloaks, launching a torrent of scourge nanites at the nearby jammer. And like hungry insects, the machines swarm the device, ripping into it on contact. Before long, it's reduced into a scorched, deformed mass of metal, one that collapses in on itself and explodes in short order. The already mangled flesh at its base is impaled with shrapnel, and pyroclastic slag rains down, crushing bones, flipping over bodies, and leaving ruptured power cells to burn through flesh and skin. I can barely look at the dead without something cold and weary sinking deeper into my stomach. But Ijin Hirga simply stares at the mountain of gore, examining the deceased and searching for residual life signs with near mechanical efficiency. In the corner of my eye, I catch a half-dead soldier struggling to lift his head off the ground. A trembling The gloved hand reaches for a blade stained red and black by the carnage. Then a gunshot. All targets down. I look to the side to see Hisao with a pistol in his hand and smoke venting from its inboard muzzle brake. He shakes his head in disgust as he holsters it, and I can only nod in relative understanding. Wait, who said all targets down? Irie did. Okay. Now then, operatives. If you could assist me in securing the locks on this door, that would be... Team not responding. Personnel pinged KIA. Deter intruders. Is activating countermeasure. Repeat. Measure is armed. Deter intruders. Evacuation may no longer be. Agent, operatives, my apologies for the interruption, but this message started repeating on ILF comms. I have deciphered it to the best of my ability, but it appears to have been broadcasted in this state. Understood, Eris. We'll make it work. Agent, do you have any idea what this countermeasure is? Agent? I cannot detect any traces of her presence, operative. She is gone. Glad she's on our side. That remains to be seen. The cell commander is hailing you, operative. I will patch her through. Lucid 1 to Lucid 8 and Lucid 9. Do you copy, operatives? Affirmative, ma'am. A solid copy, Commander. What's the business? Just simple business, 8. Especially with those jammers gone. According to new active scans, Maeda's troop is trapped on the 10th sublevel of the Citizen Course Conditioning Center. Chances are, Hirka went to look for him and deactivate whatever countermeasure the ILF had placed. I'm forwarding Eris a map of all known sectors inside the facility. Check for mounted anti-personnel devices, EV hazards, and make your way through the main entrance. Once you're in, look for civilians and evacuate as many as you can. Once all surviving non-combatants are safe, hold position and avoid Maeda's last known location. I'm going to ask the warden if she wants her VIP well done or medium rare. See you on the other side, operatives. Lucid 1 out. Following the commander's orders, I initiate a scan of any environmental hazards, mines, or other instruments of inconvenience before attempting to break past the monolithic door in front of me. Thankfully, I find none, and neither do Hisao or Iris. And with a few careful steps over the scores of deceased, I somehow manage to dig my fingers under the shutters, leading the shutters leading edge, lifting it high enough to acquire a way in. The ILF must have loosened it somewhat when they sent their people inside. Beyond the door is a wide staircase that leads through a security checkpoint and onto a fortified rampart corridor hybrid, where red emergency lighting flashes around damaged machine guns, emplacements, and guard stations, followed up against raised blast shielding. However, as far as I can see, there's nobody up here, dead or otherwise. This place doesn't seem like it's in a position to repel intruders, but maybe it doesn't need to. It's configured like it's expecting someone to show up, waiting patiently to herd them through these narrow corridors to whatever fate lies within. If Maeda came through the same way as us, didn't turn back here, he must have been 10 circles of hellbent on getting his family out of this place. This alcove appears to be a security room, operatives. It may be worth examining. Good idea, Eris. Take a look, operatives. Since Hidega isn't responding, maybe you could check those consoles and find out what happened here. Consider it done, ma'am. Ooh, I like this room. Lots of little details in this. It's very dark and creepy. There's only the one chair. Oh no, there's a few more. Okay. I was like, is it one person in this room by themselves? That's sad. Following the commander's orders, I combed through the assembly of computer monitors in front of me, searching for any useful data. It doesn't take long for me to realize that I've stumbled across a particularly cruel and unforgiving place. One of the monitors I see appears to be a control interface for repeatedly playing announcements and propaganda messages. It includes a currently locked down section menu where audio messages are organized alphabetically by content transcripts, and most are fairly short and to the point. Obedience brings security, one says. Dissent is treason. Compassion is incompetence. Pain is delusion. And who could forget the bog standard, glory to Isamu. Most of the data I find is useless, unintelligible, or both, but one of the screens contains a detailed floor map that I waste no time sharing. Looks like we're on level 1, something classified as housing for staff and trusts. I turn to Isao. Any idea what a trust is? He nods, pointing to a screen with a data table on it. And each row is a multi-angle portrait of someone with gray clothes, a shaved head, and a number iron brand onto the skin of their collarbone. I heard stories about this place from an inpatient once. If they were 8 or older, the people sent to re-education here were classified as either trusts or non-trusts. Non-trusts made up the bulk of the names here. They were assigned to lower level where were prohibited from speaking and physical contact and had harsher lesions and harsher lessons. I don't know why I said lesion. I'm just assuming these people are beaten. Lessons and training sessions. The trusts were chosen by staff to do daily work, maintain the facility, and provide discipline to the non-trust. In return, they received more food and water, and they could speak to other trusts. Oh, how glamorous. Of course, by names, I mean numbers. I doubt M177013 and F215600 here introduced themselves like that when they were first assigned to room 101. According to this chart, each male trust shares a room with a female trust, regardless of age. Okay. Didn't mean to click on that. Seeing if I could see history through this part. Nope, I cannot. So you can see my save files again. It's beautiful. I've done some bad things to innocent people before, but this is just... it went too far back. Time is limited, Doctor. I'd like to focus on getting this blast shield. Well, that's not a great sound to hear all the time. Usually something bad happens after that. God help us. Bodies. They're the first thing I see when I look down. Not the sinister red light of the alarm strobes, not the black fog billowing against the ground, but the bodies of 50, perhaps 100 civilians, all dead on the ground. When the attack began, they must have kept their heads down, taking cover near the tables when this was done to them. They were condemned to this place, herded into it like livestock. They appeased it, surviving its cruelty, and now their splayed fingers clutched at empty air. Their bile-encrusted jaws lay locked in silent screams below bloodshot, wide-open eyes, pupils constricted, and these were the ones willing to receive their re-education. They were exposed to something that made him die seizing and contorted. I'd laugh at the irony of it all if it wasn't so prohibitively disgusting. I can't find any blood or bullet wounds, but nearly all the skin I see is burnt to a sickly red and deep purple. Some spots carved away to expose the fatty tissue beneath. My first thought is of a nerve agent, but what kind of nerve agent could do something this gruesome? 2 doors exit on each side. 2 doors exist on each side of the security room, leading down wide stairs into an atrium. Stairs with waves of dark vapor breaking against them. Oh my. It does look quite creepy. That sounds so bad. Why is it every time we do one of these, like, there's just this gruesome scene of death and sadness and murder? Before I override one, I should run a few remote scans on the substance and definitely make sure everyone's rebreathers are working. Telemetry is picking up high concentrations of an unknown nerve agent in those corpses. An unknown nerve agent in dimethylpolonium? Polonium? Guess we know where those burns came from. Why bother with the radiation, though? The nerve agent would have been more than enough on its own. Yeah, but it doesn't look as gruesome. That's what's important. Not to mention, these corpses are only a few minutes old. Regular polonium couldn't do this to someone in that amount of time. That's because it's not regular polonium, operative. That's that black mist you see down there? It's a compound called methylpolonium chloride. I feel like I'm most definitely mispronouncing all of these words wrong. It permanently activates receptors of acetylcholine. Is it acetylcholine or choline? Acetylcholine. And violently deters enzymes that's suppressed to break it down, releasing neurologically catalyzed dimethylpolonium with half-life of minutes. It's active at levels of a few million molecules, and it's beyond difficult to synthesize. The ILF must have... I'd advise you to speak carefully, Miss Namakura. Or would you rather play God with this kind of data? Disregard that statement, operative. Keep searching for survivors. We can worry about discontaminating the facility later. If you find anyone alive down there, share their location with me, but don't do anything that could expose them to more methylpolonium chloride. Lucid9 out. Whatever that exchange just now was, it sounded like it was more than enough to get the commander on the ropes. It was also incredibly suspicious. I don't think it's in my best interest to wonder why the warden was so unsubtle or so quick to shut the commander down, or why she knew so much about a chemical that my scanner couldn't even recognize. However, that doesn't stop me from speculating. Once the primary lockdown is overridden, of course. Then we speculate away. We will see what more we'll find in this facility in the next episode.